Much of the problem for a lot of celebrities, micro celebrities, is they've had it all. They've been feted, given lots of money, and allegedly the public adore them. And then, of course, they take a wrong turn and decide to chase the youth vote, and more importantly, try to change their own appearance to make themselves appear a little bit younger. This is the problem now facing a once much loved British television presenter. She shot to fame simply just counting a few numbers on a daytime TV show. And then that particular TV show decided, well, she wanted £1 million a year. So they dumped her. And this has been really the onset of the problems for none other than the TV host, Carol Vorderman. But this time around, she's decided once again to have an attack against the British monarchy. All the meanwhile hoping to stay, well, relevant, at least in her own mind. Let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to have your company, and as ever, thank you so much for joining me. Lovely to see you. Yes, as I said to you before, it's a strange thing, isn't it? You know, celebrity is a very strange world. You can be, of course, adored, loved, and liked for many years, but as the years creep on, you do your very best to make sure that the public, well, at least stays with you. Now, Carol Vorderman, of course, has changed many times, not at least her face, her figure, and more importantly, her posterior. You see, the problem with Carol is she's been badly advised. I knew her many years ago and seemed a very sweet-natured girl, but obviously very, very fame-hungry. Didn't really like that a lot of other people were getting attention, particularly younger girls who were hitting television. You know, she'd been there 20 years. It's a tough call for any lady. Far easier, many might say, for men, particularly in the world of the media. Problem with Carol, you see, she's always put herself out there as something of a brain box, you know, simply because she added up a few numbers, as I say, on a daytime TV show. And then she decided to become something of an activist, but all the while shocking her now depleted fans by claiming that she actually had 5 boyfriends on the go all at once, but she simply couldn't name them. Oh, no, because they were all attached and it was just their secret deal. This is an absolute lie. Carol knows it, her agency know it, but of course it got her back into the press, albeit in a rather tawdry fashion. That wasn't enough. Carol was recently let go from a little-known presenting gig over on BBC Wales simply because she couldn't adhere to the new BBC guidelines. Basically, she's a loudmouth and wanted some attention. But now she's decided to attack, ill-advisedly, the British monarchy. And this is the problem, you see. She hasn't thought it through. Apparently, Carol Vorderman is fuming as she blasts King Charles over the, quote, death tax expose. Stop taking the money, according to Carol. The King obviously has faced criticism from Republicans, and now Carol Vorderman. Carol has shared her thoughts on The Guardian's latest investigation into how the Duchy of Lancaster receives unclaimed funds from the deaths in parts of northwest England. The report, and I have to tell you this, claims the money was funneled into the King's private income, although the Duchy has denied that unclaimed funds go into the royal income. Now, Carol claims to be a very intelligent woman, but a very swift move around the internet and indeed checking on Royal Court Circular would point out to you exactly where that money goes. And that's simply not true at all. This is The Guardian, of course, very much a Republican paper, but it's something now that Carol desperately needs to stay relevant. Now, we can't be bothered to explain to Carol because clearly she has one mantra. But the other side of the coin is, way back in 2000, she was very keen to pick up her MBE from Her Majesty the Queen. This is what Carol said upon that momentous day. I had a fabulous day receiving my MBE from Her Majesty the Queen. My mother, my girl Katie, then aged 8, were in the audience too as I picked up said award. I got chatted up by a real hunk getting his MBE while I was in the queue. That was so unexpected and funny. You can see, even simply picking up an MBE for Carol, well, it has to have some knock-on effect about her being incredibly sexy. You get the picture. But here's the other side of the coin. Carol, amazingly, is not planning to send the MBE back. Oh no, she's not that offended by the royals. You see, Carol has picked up no other award since. And this truly is the problem. As we battle down the hatches once again on these particular political celebrities that have nothing to offer other than being a mouthpiece on social media. It's fascinating to note, isn't it, that the one thing they won't give up is the thing that they love telling everybody about. And if you get a letter or indeed an email from Carol Vorderman, it always says at the end of it, Carol Vorderman, MBE. Strange, don't you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.